Okay, sorry, we're back. I was saying that if the market value of the assets falls below a value that would cause the maintenance margin percentage to be below 30%, then the the investor is going to get a margin call. Um, Technically, it's a house call, but coming from the brokerage house, but the world calls it tends to call it a margin call. Technically, those I think come from the regulatory agencies. So we're just going to call it a margin call. You get a margin call, and the goal, well, your response to a margin call as an investor would be to get your actual margin percentage back to 30% or even higher. But you only have to go back to 30%. You don't have to get back to 50%. And there's three things you can do to meet a margin call. One is you can add assets to the account. Okay, remember our goal was to get A minus L over A to be greater than or equal to 0.3. So if you add assets to your account, you could make that happen. What you'd be doing, if you think about it, you're making this A get bigger, but when this A gets bigger, so does this one, so it takes a little more than you might think it does because you're increasing the denominator also. So that's one thing you can do, add assets to your account, just flat out add assets to your account. The second thing you can do is pay off part of your loan. So you can just send cash to your account and pay off part of your loan. In other words, you're going to reduce L. You're going to reduce L so that A minus L over A is greater than or equal to 0.3. Second thing you could do. Third thing you can do doesn't involve any money coming from outside your account, but you could just sell assets in your account so that and then use the proceeds from those asset sales to pay off your loan so that A minus L over A is greater than or equal to 0.3, which of course is 30%. Okay, so that's what happens when you get a margin call. We're talking about margin purchases here, and you just have to be careful. In other words, the broker's going to try to do something long before the value of your assets is lower than the loan you owe. So, just remember this: you have your assets, and then some of those are going to be a liability, and other parts of that is going to be equity. That's yours. That's what you really own. Okay, liability and equity. So, just kind of a little chart here. Just A, L, E. So when we first started this out, we had 200 grand. I'll put it's in thousands. So if you had 200, your liability was 100, your equity was 100. Okay, and then I think here the second thing that happened in my little story, I think, was that let's just say the asset value becomes 150. Okay, so if assets are 150, your loan's not changing. As a matter of fact, I'm ignoring accrued interest here, but it's actually increasing. But we'll ignore accrued interest. Now your equity's 50, and if this is the market value of the assets. If the market value of the assets becomes 100, your loan amounts your liability, your loan is 100, and your equity is 0. So this is kind of how it works. What you're hoping is going to happen here. I'll put a magical date for here to show what you're hoping is going to happen. You're hoping the assets will double and become worth 400, and your loan will be 100, and your equity will be 300. That's what you're hoping happens, right? That's the happy story. But things don't always work out that way. But And this is, using margin. Margin, of course, is leverage. Leverage is one of the most important concepts in all of finance. Leverage. Whether it's the debt-to-asset ratio of a corporation, or whether it's borrowing money to buy stocks, as in the current example, or whether it's using options, leverage is a big issue in finance. It can be great and it can be horrible. And okay, so this is a margin purchase that we're talking about, and let's now turn our attention to short sales. Okay, a short sale is the second thing that you can do in a margin out. As a matter of fact, I think I'll stop the video now and start a new video on short sales. Thanks for watching.